Barcelona shimmered through the thin veil of mist, lit softly by the gold of countless street lamps. Sempere and Sons bookstore stood nestled between narrow cobblestone alleys, bathed in the warm, inviting glow of the window lanterns. Daniel Sempere carefully placed a volume on an antique shelf, marked with faded gold letters, breathing in the comforting scent of old leather bindings and dusty pages. Tonight felt enchanted, the silence delicately filled with whispers from forgotten tales, lingering quietly in the cozy air. Suddenly, a subtle creak at the entryway pulled Daniel from his reverie, breaking the delicate stillness. Standing at the threshold was a tall, gaunt man, wrapped in a charcoal-colored coat, his sharp features accented by the soft, flickering lantern outside. His dark eyes glittered strangely, like embers secretly burning beneath layers of ash. "Can I help you find something special?" Daniel asked cautiously, his voice catching slightly. The visitor offered a thin, careful smile, an expression hiding secrets. "Perhaps you can," the stranger replied quietly, moving gracefully towards a shelf labeled Rare Editions, something forgotten yet hauntingly familiar. The stranger trailed fingertips delicately along the leather spines, each book murmuring forgotten secrets as he touched them. Daniel watched intently, each silent second heightening the curious tension in the room. Finally, the man stopped, selecting a slender volume bound in faded blue velvet, worn from decades of careful handling. Turning to Daniel, his tone lowered, almost conspiratorial. "You have a friend working here, yes? A certain Fermín Romero de Torres. I urgently need to speak with him." Daniel felt the hairs on the back of his neck tense, an inexplicable unease filtering softly through his veins. Before Daniel could answer, footsteps sounded softly on the stairs, Fermín emerging from the shadows. His expression transformed instantly from warmth to shocked recognition, eyes widening slightly in disbelief. The stranger regarded Fermín silently, the velvet-bound book held delicately within pale fingers. After a pause, stretched thin by uncertainty, the visitor whispered calmly, "I bring tidings from someone who wishes to remind you. The man you once knew cannot stay hidden forever." A sudden chill filled Fermín's expression, and Daniel sensed the comforting magic of his bookstore slipping slowly away, replaced delicately by shadows of uncertainty and dread. In the serene warmth of Sempere and Sons bookstore, Fermín quietly shelved books illuminated by soft honey-colored sunlight filtering through the tall windows. The scent of aged pages and fresh ink filled the air, weaving a tapestry of sleepy magic around him. Yet beneath his calm exterior, Fermín was perturbed, unsettled by the mysterious stranger's recent visit. Memories he had long buried stirred restlessly within him, as if shadows from his past had sensed an invitation to emerge. Only Daniel Sempere noticed the subtle change in Fermín's demeanor, a fleeting look of concern shadowing the older man's normally cheerful face. Approaching cautiously, Daniel placed a gentle hand on Fermín's shoulder. "Fermín, are you all right?" Daniel whispered, concern lacing his voice. Fermín turned slowly, eyes reflecting a complex blend of melancholy and unease. "There are memories, Daniel, that stay quiet only if we never whisper their names. And yet today, they seem to call mine through chance and circumstance." As dusk crept through the narrow streets of Barcelona, wrapping the city in shades of purple and gold, Fermín knew his carefully guarded past was knocking gently but insistently at the door of the present. Later that evening, Fermín wandered through the city's twisting alleys, the gaslights casting pools of amber light along the cobblestone streets. Along the docks, gentle waves whispered secrets against bobbing fishing boats, whilst distant music from a nearby cafe drifted under the night sky like a lullaby. But beneath these familiar comforts lay an undercurrent of anxiety, a hidden tension silently weaving itself into Fermín's thoughts. He found himself backtracking roads and street corners, almost involuntarily, brought inexorably back to a door painted deep crimson. Pushing open the heavy wooden door, Fermín descended through a dim staircase lit by flickering lanterns, his pulse quickening with every click of his footsteps. Inside the poorly illuminated cellar room, crowded tables were occupied by whispering patrons and suspicious faces gleaming faintly in shifting shadows. In a distant, shadowed corner waited the figure who had been haunting Fermín's thoughts since that strange visitor arrived. A face he had believed vanished, erased by time itself. Firm yet calm eyes, framed by silver-streaked hair, slowly lifted to meet his own. Fermín froze, swallowed by disbelief and dread. "I expected you sooner," the figure said softly, the timbre of his voice unsettlingly familiar. After all, Fermín, ghosts always return to their haunts. The stone walls of Montjuïc Prison loomed against the misty Barcelona sky, their ancient surfaces holding countless untold stories of despair. Fermín Romero de Torres huddled in his damp cell, his thin frame shivering against the perpetual cold that seemed to seep from the very foundations. Through the flickering shadows cast by dying torchlight, he observed his new home, a maze of suffering where hope came to wither. "Sometimes," he whispered to himself, "the darkest places hide the brightest souls." His words proved prophetic when he first encountered David Martín, a writer whose eyes still burned with an inner fire despite years of confinement. Their first meeting occurred during the prisoner's brief courtyard time, where David approached Fermín with an unexpected warmth, sharing a small piece of contraband chocolate and a conspiratorial smile. "The guards think they've imprisoned our bodies," David had said, "but our minds remain free to wander the streets of Barcelona." As days melted into weeks, Fermín discovered that David's cell contained more than just a prisoner. It housed an entire universe of stories and secrets. Through whispered conversations in the dead of night, David revealed the existence of a mysterious book, one that had led to his imprisonment. Their late-night discussions became a beacon of sanity in the madness of Montjuïc, but they also attracted unwanted attention. The prison director, a man whose very presence seemed to drop the temperature several degrees, began taking particular interest in their growing friendship. "Knowledge is dangerous in here," warned an elderly prisoner named Salgado, his weathered face creased with concern. "It gives birth to hope, and hope is what they fear most." As winter approached, bringing with it an even deeper chill, Fermín couldn't shake the feeling that something momentous was brewing in the shadows of their confinement. David's stories were becoming more urgent, more specific, as if he were preparing Fermín for something yet to come. Montjuïc Prison held its secrets as closely as the thick walls that surrounded its darkness. In a dimly lit cell, Fermín Romero de Torres found himself carefully listening, his sharp, cautious eyes focused on the softly spoken words of David Martín, a pale man with weary eyes and an aura of melancholy. David's hushed voice carried a certain gravity, each sentence spoken as if it could shape the future itself. He spoke of books, tales of forgotten authors, and the magic hidden within their pages. In those moments, amongst cold stones and barred windows, their conversations weaved worlds more vibrant and alive than their bleak reality. "If we hold on to these stories," David whispered ardently, "we'll find our way someday. Books have saved men from worse prisons than this." Days blurred into nights, illuminated softly by candlelight smuggled in by sympathetic guards, each tiny flame casting long shadows around their confined space. Together, Fermín and David's friendship became a warm, glowing beacon, defiant against the suffocating shadows of captivity. They took turns dreaming of freedom, their whispered stories becoming lifelines of hope. Yet within those grey walls, rumours stirred, dark whispers of danger approaching. Someone among the prisoners had betrayed their trust, passing secrets to wardens eager to crush any spark of rebellion. Suspicion bloomed silently in the hearts of friends, ready to fall like blades in the darkness. Hidden beneath cautious gazes and whispered suspicions, plans took form. Fermín watched and waited, carefully noting each action, each word exchanged amidst the prisoners. Trust was more fleeting than ever, like smoke directly after the flame's extinguishment. He confided only in David, whose gentle calmness remained unwavering amidst mounting tension. David Martin, however, grew increasingly restless in cryptic dreams that shook him awake, dark visions hinting ominously at uncertain fates. "Listen closely," David murmured one restless night. "The answer we seek might not free us, but it will reveal who truly imprisons us." In the quietest hours before sunrise, details unraveled. The betrayer's identity became clearer bit by careful bit, converging toward a disturbing revelation. Fermín felt dread rise coldly within him as truth finally surfaced. Standing in the shadows of dawn, he could see clearly. Betrayal wore the familiar face of someone they trusted implicitly. Just as Fermín prepared to share this discovery with David, a sudden, unmistakable sound echoed sharply. A key turning purposefully in their cell door lock far too early, drenched in menace.
Thank you for venturing into this realm with me. If you crave more enchanted worlds, mythical battles, and secrets whispered from ancient pages, join the Guild of Storybound Explorers. Subscribe now and ring the bell to unlock every new quest the moment it drops. The next chapter awaits. Will you answer the call?